Good morning, HPC fans, and welcome back to the Midwest. We're here in St. Louis, Missouri today, midway through day one of our 3 days of coverage of SC25. My name is Savannah Peterson, bringing you all the best and brightest and nerdiest with the one and only Dave Vellante. Dave, how was the liquid cooling you went to check out a second ago?
It was so cool. I mean, you're going to talk to these guys later. It's just it just blows my mind, the engineering that goes into this, you know?
No,
so
totally.
Yeah, from like lawnmower hoses to these like amazing secondary fluid networks. I mean, serious plumbing. It's artistry.
Plumbers are having a moment. We talk about hardware having a moment, when the plumbing brains in the world are also having a moment.
But there is software, by the way, to run all this stuff. Which, yes, there is software.
Is that how your press goes?
I'm hoping, yeah.
We have two new faces on theCUBE today. Very excited to have Dea and Fabian. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. Yeah,
it's great. Your smiles, we've been giggling to get us started.
The nerves.
Y'all are quite well known in Europe, but just in case some of our American audience is not familiar with ClusterVision, tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll dive into the tourist group a little bit. Dea, I'll start with you.
Okay, sounds good. So, hi everyone. It's a really pleasure to speak here, to share a little bit our story. So ClusterVision is a company that comes from Europe, actually from the Netherlands. So we are based in Amsterdam, in beautiful, romantic Amsterdam. And a little bit like what we do is basically we started as a system integrators, which means that we did and that we have knowledge and experience in designing, obviously, HPC clusters. And then kind of moving forward, we are moving more into the software sphere of HPC. So currently we are proud developers of TrinityX. But what is more interesting actually that this is our second or next generation of cluster management software. So we, back in the days, let's say 10 years ago, we were actually a mother company of very well-known Bright Computing. And Bright Computing, we all know, is now part of NVIDIA, so it's NVIDIA-based command manager. So yeah, that's a little bit kind of the story, that we are specializing more and more, focusing on the software side, on services, and really the aim is to make the cluster management easier, simple, and more convenient, let's say, to the users.
You had us at Amsterdam.
Yeah, yes, you did. One of our favorite places on the planet, one of my favorite places. We do a lot of work with the Dutch. So,
not a bad place on earth. No, not a bad
You're absolutely right. It's romantic. It's lovely. You have fantastic cheese. There are many things that I love about the Netherlands. Fabian, can you tell me a little bit about what big challenges, to all of us sitting here, it's intuitive what challenges there are in cluster management and the level of complexity, but can you explain that a little bit and why the right software solution right now is so important?
Well, the biggest challenge, of course, is that people want to be able to do what they want, and usually you see that they're quickly locked in nowadays because you have to buy a license or you have to pay a lot of money, basically. If you look at our philosophy, we are open source. You can download this for free, and you can try it. You just go to GitHub, download it, play around with it. You have full functionality. And then if you want to have support, of course you can. You have enhanced, and we have proactive support. But the adoption is, pretty, to start with. The threshold to start is pretty low. And great, basically.
So, I mean, today we're talking about 100,000 GPU clusters. Yeah. You know, we live in this clustered environment, a clustered systems world.
It's clustered time.
It's a cluster sometimes, yes. But people are talking about 1 million GPU clusters. I mean, that's the sort of North Star that people are working towards, which is insane. So, Savannah just asked you about the challenges. I'm curious as to what role storage plays in that whole system design.
Now, what you see with storage is basically, storage is very important. If you look at research institutes, they usually say, it's scratch, not important, it's not important, until it's gone. Then people are screaming, didn't you make a backup? No, we didn't.
Storage is one of those things that nobody talks about until it fails and something's gone cataclysmically wrong. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
That's right, to have the right strategies and also the right products, like the Solidime SSDs, of course. So if you look at solutions, because if you look at a cluster, basically they consist of multiple components, like a controller node, login node, storage nodes, and compute nodes and GPU nodes, of course. Yeah, they need to consist of storage. And especially nowadays with the 16 terabyte, you can go to 300 terabyte in 2U. It's crazy. And
it's crazy. Yeah.
And I saw earlier you had a 122 terabyte drive, 2.9 terabyte in 2U. It's crazy.
It is.
Of course, you still need a backup, but hey, or buy it twice. It's also possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, storage is very important, especially in HPC, especially fast storage.
We were at an event last night. Ian Buck from NVIDIA was hosting an event. It was mind-blowing, some of the things that people are doing with HPC these days.
Yeah.
You guys are at the heart of sort of serving those clients. And we see this convergence of AI and HPC going mainstream. What are some of the things you see organizations doing that excite you? There's scientific discovery. There's all kinds of other commercial applications. There's material science. It's amazing what's happening. I wonder if you could share some of your thoughts as to what you see in the market.
Yeah, I mean it's getting wild in a way. What can computers do, and kind of this synergy between our brains and the machines, and then putting that together, it's just becoming wild what people can create with the infrastructure that we have at the moment. So what we are seeing, our clients are very diverse, right? So from finance to life sciences to oil and gas to we even work with some Formula One teams. So it's just amazing how much these computers now can help us to get the results much faster, right? And with GPUs, just the interface that where we can see actually all these things on the monitors and stuff. It's crazy.
It is crazy. You're absolutely right. Dea, I'm going to stick with you for a second. Talk to us a little bit about the software challenges and how you're able to navigate that to deliver a solution that people clearly love.
I mean, that's a very good question, because what we are seeing more and more, and I think that's also where our value kind of lies, is that, as you see, we are all becoming, with TikToks, with social media, everything has to be convenient. And it has to be easy, fast. Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, it has to be easy to use. And in this HPC world, people are still obviously doing a lot of the command line usage and interface. And people are still kind of, it seems like in that sense, we are 50 years back almost, right? Well, all the technology
Excel
stuff are
out there too while we're at it.
Indeed.
What? Yeah.
So I think that is the challenge that we are trying to kind of overcome by developing and creating a nice GUI, so a graphical interface, in a way that it becomes very intuitive and very easy to just use it and create the smaller applications, which are, so it's kind of what Fabian was saying, and keeping it open source. Because, again, being open source, bringing back to community, we see that this is the only way forward. So we fully committed ourselves to the open source, to our product being open source, because that's another thing, right? It has to be available. It has to be there. If we want to move with technology, we have to give technology to people. We have to build a community around our product, and that's the only way. How can we solve all these challenges together?
So a couple questions around that. So TrinityX is the cluster management software, correct? Okay. And you, Fabian, you talked about it comprises a controller node, compute, GPU nodes, storage. That's the system. What exactly does TrinityX do? You're managing all that complexity and balancing it. And then I want a follow-up question on why open source? How many downloads are you guys committing to? You guys are big committers, but part A and B. But let's start with what happens inside. What do you actually do? What's the value of that software?
Well, if you look at in 2023, we decided to go full on redefining of rewriting the code, basically. So we went from Python 2 to Python 3, and we put a lot of effort in it. And we also decided, okay, we will stay open source, of course, because we had to decide, close it up, ask money for it, or make it open source, like they also was saying. So we want to give back to the community. And then, basically,
I was asking you how you managed it. How you those different components that you mentioned, the controller node, the GPUs, the storage. What exactly does the software do? Are you balancing?
Yeah.
Are you creating the balance
Maybe I
system?
can help him a little bit with this. So what we are doing is, I think that we should kind of start with explaining a little bit what is TrinityX. So TrinityX is a software suite, right? And it consists of different open source projects that we integrated into one solution, in addition with our in-house developed components.
Okay. So
you
instead
can
of doing it
imagine-
yourself, you guys do that integration, make it easier. But please,
Yeah, in a way. So there are a few open source components, such as Grafana. So I think the community, the people who will watch this, will absolutely recognize the components that I'm mentioning now. So like Slurm, Grafana, Prometheus.
We were just at KubeCon in Atlanta last week, and you know how you were talking about everything that we just talked about. Yeah, the tools, and I don't think I've talked about Slurm more in my life than we did just last week, which was so fun, because you can tell we're at this really cool moment with the open source community. I love that you're celebrating them. Where
Exactly.
we need each other to move forward.
Absolutely.
It doesn't work if we don't.
No. So indeed, and that's kind of the value, and that also kind of is the belief that we share, where we decided to, as I said, bring back, but also rely on the open source projects, which then we integrate into one solution. So TrinityX can be, you can say it's a software suite. It consists of all of these kind of open source projects, but the value that we brought to the customers is putting them all together and integrating, making sure that they're all talking to each other and work well together as a smooth software suite, right? What it does was kind of your question. So in terms of functionality, we always say that it provides kind of a toolbox almost for a modern system admin. And with this toolbox, he can do whatever it's needed to do the cluster management in a right way. So this means provisioning, right? This means network configuration. This means monitoring. This means alerting, right? This means user management. This means, I said the graphical interface where you can do it all of that together. So in a way, it also has like cloud bursting, so it's another functionality. But we believe that it consists. We give you tools which are needed for modern system admin to do the cluster management.
And you offer this as a managed service, is that right? That's how you get paid?
Exactly. So the commercial part of this is based on the support levels. Exactly. So the software itself is exactly the same for paid and non-paid customers. So there's no difference in that. But it's only the choice of the customer whether they want to have the enterprise support or not.
So how's it going? I mean, usually it's when you look at open source projects, are people downloading it? Are people committing? What can you share?
I mean, I'm glad that you asked this, because we have been working really hard in the last, let's say, a year and a half to really bring this product closer to people. Obviously, worked on the marketing, worked on conferences. We were there trying to be as loud as possible. And we were finally seeing some results. So we since we did some analytics, and I think from March until October this year, we had more than 1,200-300 downloads.
That's really significant when we're talking about HPC software here.
Yeah.
Indeed, we are really happy with
That's
this
telling me the
progress
scale
that we are
and the
having.
community is really, we're tipping over now. It's not just a little silo of nerds who are trying to build.
Indeed, and we are really happy to see that a lot of universities, institutions, enterprises are kind of being more welcome to the whole open source community, in a way that they are really looking into the open source projects and also using them in their own labs. And like the acceptance of open source is becoming much wider than it used to be before. And we obviously welcome that even more.
I want to ask you a slightly more personal question for both of you. What is your, because you get to see so many cool things, I just can't resist asking you, what is your favorite favorite application of HPC, or the most exciting thing that you're seeing a customer do that has you think, wow, it's really going to make the world a better place, or that's going to make life easier, or extend the length of our lives, or whatever that might be? Dea, I'll start with you because you got a big grin.
Okay, so since I mentioned this Formula One team, some of my boyfriend are like really, Formula One fans. So for me, that's really cool that we can help them to obviously be faster and get to the podiums and obviously help them succeed in that way. But in general, I'd say more the way why I like this industry and why I like working for ClusterVision, why I like this HPC community in general is because I can indirectly influence the kind of the betterment of the world. And that is really, so for me, it's really important to have purpose. And obviously we all want to improve the world around us. And it's very hard to do it directly, right?
Yeah.
But this way and indirectly pushing kind of the world into the better place is something that makes me really happy. So we are also working with hospitals in the Netherlands. And we do know that if they have good surveys when it comes to HPC, if they can do their computation quickly and reliably and smoothly, right, then we are also somehow helping them to give good care to their customers and patients at the end of the day. So,
and the worst thing in healthcare is waiting for results, waiting for a scan, waiting for whatever. And this is the type of stuff that accelerates that. Maybe F1 pun intended. Did you you know how many sensors they use on those F1 cars? Have you seen what the HPC stuff does for F1? It is hundreds, and they're every single millisecond, and they can remap, they can simulate every aspect of the race, the tire torque because of the turn, everything. It's so cool. I love that you brought that
So
up.
that's what you're ingesting all that data, analyzing that data, but also probably doing aerodynamics and aerodynamic simulation.
It's insane. They know if it was a little sunnier on this side of the track, how that impacted the tire pressure and what that did to the velocity of the vehicle. I mean, it's cool. I just got to see a demonstration of this recently and was like, whoa, that is crazy. You can see so many other things as a result.
Yeah.
I mean, what about you? What gets you most excited?
Innovation, basically. I love to see students excel, basically, and also
Yes.
because we have also student teams that we sponsor, and to see young people using tools to investigate, to run simulations. For example, we have customers also in aviation. CFD is important, and it's funny to see a startup that started up with 4 systems growing into 20, 30 nodes in 2 years' time, because they're getting,
I just felt that. I just got little nerd goosebumps.
and it's fun because normally you would not go to a customer for too small, not interesting. You go further. No, but you see the potential. You help them. Sometimes you sponsor them, and then they grow. And you're basically the trusted partner, fully managed, and you help them out with our knowledge and expertise. And that is great to see. Just great to see, and you get excited to do more.
I'm glad you mentioned the students. I was just at the University of Michigan yesterday and talking to them about how they're leveraging tech and AI, and they're not jaded. They're not bound by what we think are traditional design constraints. They're ready to go cure cancer and do everything in 5 minutes. And you know what? They should, because we can, and companies like you can help support them. Final question to close us out here. This has been a blast. You're both fabulous. When we are in Chicago at SC26 next year, what do you hope to be able to say then that you can't yet say today? Fabian, I'm going to start with you. What do you hope to be able to say next year that isn't currently solved yet?
If I look back on what, like Dea said, it's an amazing ride. It's amazing to see what you can add to our customers, and we all worked hard and would love to see everybody back, successes in Chicago, basically.
Love it.
Yeah,
Keep the momentum going.
the momentum.
Yeah. What about you, Dea?
So I was thinking a little bit what to share and what I would like to see, but I think it's good to mention that aside from TrinityX, we are also working on another product, which is Luna GPT. So Luna is our provisioning engine. So that's kind of one of the components that I told you before that it's in-house developed. And now we are creating, kind of a LLM, which will be very helpful again for all the system admins, because when they have a question, when they have an issue, or they need to troubleshoot, right? They can just talk to the Luna GPT instead of ChatGPT, right? And Luna GPT will be obviously much smarter because we obviously feed her with the information relevant for cluster management with our own knowledge base and so on. So I would love to see that Luna GPT is alive and ready to be kind of spread again around with across with in Chicago 2026.
Conversational cluster management, right?
Kind of, kind of. Yeah, it will be almost like a little AI agent for all the system admins there to help them be more efficient in a way, yeah.
Right.
I love it. Well, we look forward to talking about Luna next year. Fabian and Dave, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Insights,
Thank you.
great energy, sound advice, and thank you, Dave. This has been a joy. We're gonna have to do some F1 stuff after this.
Yes.
That's all I can think about. It's all I'm thinking about right
Vegas.
now. Yeah. Yes, baby. I hope you're having as much fun as we're having here in St. Louis, Missouri at SC25. My name is Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.